the contrary, I think technology here can serve as well. So I'm thinking that in technology, microgrids would be a part where this would be important aspect of it. So we don't depend on the big grid. We can separate from that and be sustainable and resilient in case we need that. So that's in a nutshell my yeah, that's about. I just think I already mentioned that I had to do something with Italy, which is here, and I had, interesting enough, when we were at UCLA, I had an organic garden which I landscaped with food in the most innocent way. I wish I knew then what I know now, but I learned to be friendly with growing food then. And I understood the difference of a taste of a tomatoes that I was growing, the one that you buy in the supermarket. So that's all. I think that I am a big believer of Buckminster Fuller, who said, think globally, act locally. Well, I say think globally, grow locally.
This has been a terrific presentation, Ruth.
In a nutshell.
It is. Thank you for sharing that. And I hope the students have bookmarked your Farmer page.
Okay.
I will probably, Ruth.
Okay, now I have to say something about that. There is a lot of work in my website that's old because I dumped into this tower garden. It was an innovation at the time, but my heart it's not there anymore for a long time. It's just a growing in the earth, yeah. And what I would recommend is looking the blog. The last few blogs deal with a larger scale project.
Terrific. Well, I tell you what, we're gonna welcome our guest Tomas Castro now. But Ruth, I love what you just showed us, and I love the business plan, and I also love the idea of how you have taken a creative career and applied it to architecture and rolled it, into the agriculture area. It's fabulous, and I'm hoping you'll come back to one of our critiques when we pitch our businesses.
Sure.
You would be
Of
a
course.
big professional.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
We can't take questions right now, but we definitely will have some. So
Okay. Another time I will be here.
Another time. I love it.
Okay.
So I welcome Tomas Castro. He's joining us from Korea, and he's got an hour now for our to talk about his work and what he does with businesses. Let me see here, Tomas. Let's see. How can I switch?
Do I have to do something here? Mute.
I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. And Tomas, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here. Am I coming through?
Hello.
Hello.
Always a pleasure to have you join. You know that. Always.
Yes, thank you.
So take it away.
Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see.
It should allow you.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I want to set this up in a way where I can see everyone. How do I hide this? Just a moment, guys.
I know, right?
Okay.
Oh, God.
All right, so thank you guys for being here. I am Tomas Castro. I'm coming in from South Korea. I'm joining you guys at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm super pumped to kind of give you guys everything that we have on the menu today. So today we're going to talk about three main topics: how to lead your business, how to design your products for sales, and then how to sell. For this lecture, let's hold off on the questions till the end, and then we're going to have a small activity towards the end as well. All right, so let's get started. All right, so most likely if you're in Deborah's class and if you're here, you're probably a passionate person who has many dreams, and we have a lot of like dreams for like the products we want to create and the kind of life we want to have. And so you're here to build your own business to make that possible. There are a couple results of trying to attain this journey. You can build a business that's going to be maybe a short-term kind of like thing, or close it later on. That's like 90% of the businesses that get started. You can create a low profit business, something that is just scraping by, but it's giving you enough money. Or you can kind of build a long-term healthy business. And that's kind of the direction we're going to focus on. 1 second. I'm going to put on an alarm. Okay. The biggest challenges that I've seen with startups is that a lot of times the founders may focus on the wrong things, or maybe they create a product that actually nobody wants to buy, or not knowing how to sell, or feeling uncomfortable selling. So I'm here today because I was a student just like you. Today I'm currently working at a Korean government agency focused on helping startups scale internationally. And we're building ventures. I'm focusing on helping startups get funding, helping them get sales, and then coaching them on what to do. I came from Cal State Long Beach. I graduated in 2017, the fall. I had a minor in entrepreneurship, and I was part of the UCLA Ethical Leadership in the CPA building. My journey is there's a lot of things I've gone through. So I started off in the art space, painting, and I kind of just went down the list of design. I had to start up while I was at Cal State Long Beach. While being in the design, I took the general route, and I was involved with like the product, the UX, and service. Also, while I was a student, I had a small business, which was like a local tutoring agency. From there, I got a minor in entrepreneurship on campus. After graduating, I was an instructional designer. I created courses at a software company. During that time, I also studied advertising at a kind of like a academy in Santa Monica. And then from there, I came over to Korea, and ever since I've been in Korea, I've been super focused on just the marketing and sales, working at different startups, helping them with global B2C sales, and then B2B sales. From there, also being a consultant, and now I'm a global startup program manager, and I'm working with a lot of accelerators and venture capital. So what I'm going to give you is a more impact first view of business. So not really focusing on a sort of one camp is more important than the other, but this is kind of what you really need to focus on to make your business. And for me, that's helped me to be in a lot of roles. Have been able to also grow in a country I've always wanted to live in. And these are some of the business accomplishments I have been able to accomplish so far that I hope to help you accomplish with this lesson as well. All right, so today's agenda, let's get started with how to lead your business. We're going to cover the end game, the requirements, and the big picture. The ultimate goals of a business is to make people's lives better. And you want to profit in exchange for those services. And you want to do this at scale and long term. In order to make this happen, you're going to design and build a collection of systems for your business. So let's take a look at profits. For your business, long-term, to have long-term profits for that healthy business, for the life you want, you need to have growing revenue or have less or consistent costs. To get revenue, that's going to come from sales, obviously. But the fundamental cost of supplying the service is quite a bit. You have the R&D, you have the building of like your solution and all the infrastructure to make sure it's produced. You have your sales system, you have the customer success system, which is like helping customers after they have purchased their product and helping them get the success they want. You have investments for growth, so having capital or money to invest in maybe better suppliers or better operations, locations. You have this business operations, making sure the business is running, and then you also have to be prepared for risks. So like if something like COVID happens again, like are you ready? Do you have the capital to make pivots, make adjustments? So there are a lot of costs to provide a solution. So you need to make sure that you're getting these sales. So one thing to definitely keep in mind is don't make the mistake of designing a solution nobody wants, because it's not just the product that you're designing, it's also the system you're building to support that product. Make a solution that people want to buy over their options to achieve their goal. We're going to break this down a little bit further, but the ultimate objective is you really need to get these sales. For sales, there are two main components. You need to have a solution that's unmatched, a solution that helps a group of people finally achieve a valuable goal better than their options. And then you need to have convincing education. This can be called also marketing or sales. You need to help people understand why your solution is better than the rest and why they must attain your product now. In the event I'm going a little too fast, please just say something, because I'm not able to see your faces or your comments. All right, so to lead your business, you're going to, there are a couple stages, the big picture. First off, you want to be in a position to actually build a business. That means having the resources available, having capital. It takes money to make money. From there, you need to be clear on what your direction is. Afterwards, you're going to find something called product market fit, which I'm going to show you some steps on that. From there, once you've kind of figured out your solution and then have proof that people are wanting it, then you're going to build out your full business. And then from there, you're going to optimize your business. So this is what that process looks like when you break it down. So being in a situation to build, you want to have money that you can use to build to interview people, to build prototypes, to research. You want to have time to do this too. So all of this takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of focus. So before you really get married to the idea of building out your business, make sure that you're in a position to do it. From there, as you're setting a direction, you want to have clarity about your kind of life mission. What is it that you want to be doing with your life? What is the goal that you want to help people achieve? And is there a particular group of people that you're really most interested in helping? These can be figured out in any order, but the more clear you are about what is the mission that you must accomplish? What is the goal that you must be a part of in your life? What is the group of people that you must help in your life? That's going to help you have more clarity as to where you should bring your business, where you want to make an impact in the world. From there, finding product market fit. So here, the three main components of the product market fit is the exchange, which is what you're offering, and also the price that you're offering it. In addition to that is the solution that you're creating, and then the education. So these three things, once you figure it out, you should be able to secure sales. Once you have sales, you have enough commitment and validation to build the system to support people attaining success with your product, and then the overall business system for your business to run. after you have these systems in place, then you can start optimizing and scaling. And once you've scaled, you're kind of at the level of, let's say, a Google. And once you're at Google's level, or even you don't even have to be that big, but the idea is once you have security about sales, then you can innovate. Then you can look ahead. You can do a lot of research and development. But long term, all of these steps are there to help you make people's lives better, profit in exchange, and do this at scale long term. And this is not a quick journey. This is something that takes about 3 to 5 years, so be prepared for that. That's why having the resources is important. In addition, we have a lot of ideas, and you want to drop the bad ideas ASAP. And the way you could drop these bad ideas or figure out which ones are bad is to pitch them. As you're pitching the ideas to your segments, you'll see which ones they are not interested in. In addition, later I'll show you this process, and then you'll also be able to find out what is good and what is not good. From there, every business approaches they complete these milestones with different approaches. So your journey will be different, and your way of delivering these milestones or achieving these milestones will be different. So there's no need to really compare yourself with other entrepreneurs. So from there, let's look at how to design your products for sales. All right, so again, let's look at the end game, the requirements, and the process. So the ultimate goal of designing a solution is that you want the people to buy your solution instead of other options. There are plenty of products out there, and if you don't set up your solution well, it's really gonna mess up the foundation of your business. And so having a really good product dictates your profitability. It really dictates your marketing and sales, and it dictates the ultimate business system you're gonna build. And making a solution that is just a little bit better is likely not going to be enough. You want to create a solution that really goes above and beyond what already exists. And you want to help people finally achieve a goal. And what that means is that there are products that can help a lot of people, but there are certain niches of people, segments, that are not helped as well. And you want to maybe help those niches achieve the goal that they haven't been able to achieve with the products that are just general. So ultimately, you want to create a solution that finally helps people achieve a valuable goal better than their options. So let's look at the requirements. The core requirements for doing this is you need to be very clear about the goal and how to achieve it. What I mean by a goal is every product has a goal that it's helping somebody achieve. So if you were to download, let's say, a fitness app, the goal you're trying to achieve may be, built body, or it could be a healthy body measured by cardio, how your cardio is, or maybe if you're getting if you're using a dating app, there's different goals for different dating apps, whether you're using Tinder or there's another one that's meant to be the one that you no longer have to use a dating app anymore to get married. So there's different goals for different products, and you need to be clear about how people, what's necessary for people to achieve that goal. So if you're trying to design an app to help people build a body, what are the requirements to build a body? How is that done? From there, have clarity about the segment and their unique challenges. So if everybody has, depending on the segment, they each have different requirements and different needs. So let's say for the example of someone wanting to build a stronger body or healthier body, if they have the challenge of being a mom or working whole days or maybe having a physical disability or any other challenges, you want to be clear about, you want to really understand that segment and what they need help with. And then from there, you want to be clear about the marketplace, what products already exist and what needs are not met yet. On top of that, choose a valuable goal. Not every goal or problem is worth the same. And that really depends on who you ask and their assessment of pain and pleasure to it. So for example, if you're just trying to create a healthy snack and the goal is healthy snack, but the person has a severe allergy, then finding that healthy snack, one that fits their needs, is really a matter of life or death. It could be. And so that's maybe more valuable goal than, say, somebody who's looking for a healthy snack. They're an average person, maybe no serious allergies, and it's kind of like they're looking for a physical activity when they're sitting at their desk or just something to munch on. So these are different goals. This is kind of the same goal, but the different for a different person, there's different costs associated if you don't get it right. So you want to focus on providing a solution that's valuable. So this is a process. Big picture process is we're going to focus on you would want to focus on the goal. You want to collect what is required to achieve the goal and why it's so important. From there, you're going to look at the segment. What are the requirements, their challenges, and their cost if not attained? From there, you're going to prioritize what their most important requirements are for the solution. You're going to build a shopping list of kind of what they want and what is needed to achieve the goal. And then from there, prioritize those items. Afterwards, you're going to go shopping. You're going to look at the marketplace and see what it's really available and how does it fit that criteria that like shopping list. From there, you're going to see the gaps that exist and ask that segment, hey, are these gaps really that important to you? And figure out which ones are most important that they want filled. And then you're going to start the design process of like generating ideas to meet those requirements and gaps. And I really recommend this to not build anything until you have validation or some sort of customer commitment. And that includes even the mock-up. What you really just need for people to, what's a really good starting commitment is doing a pre-order or like just pitching the idea. If you have this information and you understand what the customer really needs and what's out there, most likely this person has already been trying to shop and are looking for a solution. And if you can just present your pitch about, hey, I have this solution that does X, Y, and Z, it does something like it, like I can assure you of that, then you can probably already get somebody to say, hey, I want this. And that's when you can commit to, okay, let's build this out. Let's not, again, you don't want to commit to a solution or building a solution that you haven't identified that people really want and are willing to pay maybe a good price for it. So there's a lot of research that needs to be done here. So make sure that this is a goal or segment that you really care about. All right, cool. And the great part about this process is that you don't need to do this alone. And it's much better if you do it with your desired customers. So throughout this process, whether you're investigating the goal or the segment or prioritizing their needs, you can just ask them. But for actually the first step for the goal, I actually recommend you to do more like scientific research or like really investigate it scientifically. What I'll show you later on is that when I've done like product development for skincare, I would definitely look at medical reports or look at PMC, that kind of scientific research to get at the truth of what is needed. When it comes to later steps of like shopping, like you can ask the person, or you can explore that on your own. For validating the gaps, again, you can present to them the options that you found and see their reaction. And when it comes to building, you can share these ideas. It's designing. You can share the ideas to the segment and see if they're interested in it. So next I'm going to show you kind of just a lean example of this. I have a dog, and most recently, my girlfriend has inspired the direction of that we need to have a adjustable bowl to help prevent any sort of neck injuries and help them digest. I was not aware of this, but now this is a goal that we have, and we want to make sure that our puppy has a great health long term. And the segment. So for us, for the requirements of our segment, which is my dog, here are the requirements and here are the challenges. So he's a growing puppy, so we want something, a lifted feeder that's adjustable. We really care about having something clean, so we want ceramic bowls. We wanted something that makes it easy to eat, so we saw some angled bowls that we're interested in. Since he's going to be a bigger dog, we want to have 16-ounce bowls or 12-ounce bowls. And we're located in Korea, so we want something that's readily accessible in Korea. Another thing that's not included here is that we also would like this to fit our interior design. So when looking for solutions, we're also going to consider what would look good in our house. So from there, I went shopping and I try to find a solution that would meet our criteria. So this is just a screenshot of that spreadsheet. I looked on Amazon, I looked on some other sites, looked at the main criteria was the size, the ceramic, it's elevated, it's adjustable. The angle part wasn't sure yet, and then the costs. And from my investigation, I found that there wasn't a really good option for 12 to 16-ounce bowl that was adjustable, that was ceramic, and another requirement was we wanted to make it eco-friendly. So now that we have clarity about the needs of the product or the requirements for the product, the next step would be to build it. And so I'm not there yet, but this is kind of a quick version of this process you just saw here. For the goal, what would have been a good idea that I haven't done yet, which would be to just investigate what are the requirements of making sure that he has good posture, like is there a certain angle, and maybe further investigation about what these requirements would be. All right, so that's the process for creating a product for sales. Next, we're going to look at how to sell. All right, so sales is a really awesome, marketing and sales is a really awesome service. It's a really great way of helping people find what they need. And ultimately, you want to help people choose to buy your solution instead of the other options to achieve their goal. And again, our solution is one of thousands of products. And so if you're not pitching your product well, people will not realize how great your product is. I don't have a list of companies that, there are many of great products that have been designed, but just never took off because they didn't have the sales or marketing to help people understand what it was, or help people understand how good it can be. From there, let's check out the requirements for this. That's another thing. Sales one important thing to remember is that a sales pitch is a promise, and you don't want to say your vows until you've done your homework. All the main information that you need to deliver a great pitch is in the research to produce your product. So if you have done the steps of investigating the goal, investigating the segments, seeing what other products are out there, and maybe even see like complaints that people have with other products, you're gonna have more than enough information to start to put together a pitch and tell people why your product is so much better. If you skip this step, that's where you get into trouble. If you don't do your homework, you end up putting out fluff. You end up putting out lies. You end up disappointing customers once they purchase your product, and you can get into legal trouble. So you really want to be clear. You really want to understand and do the homework of what the goal is, the segment, what their needs are, what your product can actually do. All that needs to be done before you start going out and selling. So to accomplish this goal, we need to help people understand why your product is better than the rest and why they must use this product now. There are three main things to get this right. You need to target the right people. You need to teach people about your product over a series of touch points. This doesn't happen like all at once. You cannot just grab a stranger or like target somebody on Instagram the first time they see you and then you throw out your whole pitch. It doesn't work like that. You kind of have to get them interested and then get them to a point where they want to learn more. And so this is progressive education. And then from there, in addition, you want to have clear and repeatable messages. A part of education is that they have a busy day. First off, people have busy days, busy agendas, many different things they want to accomplish. And if they're interested in accomplishing a goal, they're likely looking at different products. And so you want to make sure that your message is very consistent across these different touch points and that you're repeating the really important message for them to have. One quick note on targeting is that actually targeting is very important. So you want to prioritize pitching to the right kind of people. Not every segment or not every group of people within your target audience are ready to buy or the right people to sell to. You want to target people who you are most able to help. So if you're located in Long Beach and if you're selling a physical product, maybe it might be good to first try to help people in like that general area. That way it's easier than figuring out the shipping part or other challenges, or focus on helping people within your language or your culture. From there, also try to focus on people who are most pained by not having those gaps. So for the example of like snacks, like there's that people who have like severe allergies, or maybe people who have moderate allergies, people who are athletes, or people who just who are just average people. You want to focus on the group of people who are most pained by by the gaps that exist in the marketplace. From there, you want to target people who have money. If they don't have the ability to purchase, then they're not going to be able to help build up your business. And lastly, I recommend prioritizing, starting with people that you're most familiar with. So reach out to people in your network, post on Facebook or Instagram. Since these people, they already trust you, they already know you, they already like you, it's much easier to start a conversation about, hey, how can I help you? Or hey, I think this could help you. When you're speaking to strangers, there is that you have to bridge that trust. You have to build that trust first. So just to make this easy for you, start with people that you are familiar with, or second connections, people that other people can introduce you to. This is important because if you're speaking to the wrong people, it doesn't matter how good your pitch is. They won't buy, and they shouldn't buy. If it's a product that's not really for them, if they buy, they're going to be disappointed, and that's going to actually harm the reputation of your business. So you want to make sure you're targeting people who would really get a lot of value from your product. In addition to that, as you're setting up your marketing tools to target the right people, this does take some time to figure out. Each platform, whether you're Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even flyers or mailers, they all have different ways of targeting people. And so you need to understand like how to do that targeting and what are the factors that are accessible. So that does take some creativity and some time. All right, so let's look at the stages of education. So the stages are the attention getter. This helps solve the problem of people being busy. People are really busy, so you want to get their attention. From there, the brief explanation. Once you get someone's attention, then you have the permission to explain a little bit about what your solution does. And if they're interested, then they go to the sales page. Once they go to the sales page, they're likely wanting to determine if this is a decision they should make. From there, there's the Q&A, where people ask their questions and make sure that they get the final checks to see that this is a good decision. And then lastly, you provide instructions on how to use your product so that people can get the results that they really want. What you'll notice is that the information across each stage gets more detailed. And my recommendations with these different stages is that the most critical stage is the sales page. And this content, that information, it is used in the rest of your stages. And so instead of starting off with an attention getter or a brief explanation, you really want to focus on building out that sales page first, making sure that it's really convincing, making sure that it has all the important information. It explains why it would achieve the goal for the customer, what are the pain points it's solving. And then from there, once you've maybe tested out with somebody, you gave it to them the long version, and then after that, you start to figure out what's most important, and you pull it apart and make it into bite-sized pitches for the ads, for your introductions, for your brief explanation, and your attention getters. In addition, when you speak to people, you want to speak to them in their terms, and I don't know how to better explain this right now, but you want to speak to them in a way that it's considerate or like you care about them versus yelling at them about, hey, this is my product, this is what you should get. You want to speak about, hey, do you have this sort of challenge? Or, hey, this is... I'll give you some more... I'll show you some examples right now. But you want to speak to them in terms that they understand. One of the biggest challenges for, let's say, tech products is that an engineer understands their product in terms of, like, let's say, APIs, or they understand a product in terms of code, or the terms that the average person, the end user, does not really understand or not relevant to them. So you want to, when you're going into pitch mode, you want to change your vocabulary from the design vocabulary or the goal vocabulary to something that people are more used to talking about. So from that, let's check out an example. So these are examples from one of the brands I was working for 2 years ago. And so for the attention getter, these are some screenshots from Instagram. And so an attention getter can be a photo, depending on the platform that you're on. And it's usually the first 2 lines of that post, which is usually where the Instagram cuts off. So for here, the attention getter was moisture or hydration, which is your skin needing more. So for us, this product, when we designed it, the target market were people who have combination skin and who really were invested in skincare. And so the language was focused on them. And so this was meant to get their attention and for them to realize, oh, okay, this is something I'm interested in solving or learning more about. From there, the brief explanation would be the rest of the post, as well as part of the top of the sales page. So in the first part where we got their attention, we're talking about just moisture or hydration. What is your skin needing most? And then from there, as we explain it, we say, okay, hey, now you can actually have both. We have this U-zone cream, we have this T-zone cream. This can nourish your dry skin. This can hydrate your oily skin. And so now we're getting into more details. And once the person is interested, okay, I want to know a little bit more about this, then they go to the sales page. And on the sales page, they can have all the details about the ingredients, details about some key selling points or points that makes it different than other products. We could also include the Q&A and also instructions on how to use the product. So that's a brief example. Now I'm going to show you guys the breakdown of a sales page. Let's see. So the sales page basically answers a series of questions, and they are here. Like, how does this make my product better? That's like the first thing people want to hear. From there, why should I pay attention to this now? We all have many like things we need to do, but the things that we actually end up doing are the ones that we feel must be done now. So when you're giving your sales pitch, you want to make this clear, like, hey, this is something you really should attend to now, and if you don't, maybe there is a cost to it. From there, they're going to ask you, hey, is this actually a good product? So from there, you maybe want to have some sort of like case study or example or proof that it does work. From there, when can I see these results for myself? What is this thing? How is this better than my current option or other options? Likely, if people are trying really care about this goal, they already have an option they invested in, and so you kind of need to convince them to switch from theirs. So make sure that you want to communicate why it's better than their current option or other options. How much is it? Is it really worth it? And then there are additional questions. So these are some of the information that you would want to include. Maybe the customer goal, the end result, what is their cost without it, some sort of review or case study or even a demo would be great. Or even before and after photos. For skincare, it's a huge thing. Before and after photos prove the value, it's real pretty quick. When they can see the results, an overview of the solution, comparison table would be great. So this is the information that you want to communicate in your ultimate sales pitch. And if you did the process that I showed you earlier for designing a product, you will have already pretty much almost all that information. All right, so moving on, let's look at the awareness pitch, the attention getter. So the attention getter is usually your first piece of content that people will see, but it's the last piece of content you'll make. Because at that time, you've already kind of figured out what's really important about your product, and you know what are like the key UVPs or USPs, unique selling propositions, or I call it unique value propositions. From there, the objective of this pitch is to get people's attention, help them self-identify, and communicate the goal and the UVPs. So I think we are at about, this is 7:15-ish. We have about 15 minutes. So I'm going to hold off on this for now. I want to have enough time for your questions. So we'll figure out another way to do this. So from now, let's go ahead and jump right into the questions. Um, please let me know what you guys would like to learn more about.
Okay, if the students would like to put the questions, you can put them in the chat line, or you can ask them live to Tomas. And what we did in the previous is I kind of called on people just in the to facilitate this.
Or actually, I prefer that. Can you guys speak up? And then otherwise, I have some questions from earlier from the pre-survey. I'll just pull up right now.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, this is your opportunity. So if this is something that's really important to you, just start asking any questions you have.
Okay. Jenny says, how is the market overseas different from the US?
It very different. Like the market's different because oh, excuse me, I had my alarm set up. The market's different because like here in Korea, the culture is different. People have a natural preference for certain things. In addition, the Korea's country position, like it's a peninsula. It doesn't have a lot of resources, so there's a lot of imports and there's a lot of limitations on what products are available. Certain things cost more, certain things are less liked, and that's kind of the situation for every market. Every market has unique development, unique products and unique needs. There's a lot of different products here that don't exist in Korea, just because of the way Korea has been developed over time with interactions with Japan, China, and other countries.
Other questions from the students?
Okay.
Yeah, pick up what you got in the surveys.
Yeah. So there's a question about, it's difficult for me to make decisions. How should I make firm decisions in business or pitching? So this is actually a really good question and something that maybe cannot be answered really well now, but the way you learn to make decisions is by focusing on what your ultimate life mission is, the goal you want to commit to, and the segment. And then focusing on what's most going to be impactful for your customers. That's the first place I would start. Like when you're trying to decide your business, choose something that you really feel is a must-have in your life, because the process of building the business, the process of marketing, the process of designing a product, there's a lot of research and a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of emotion. So you want to choose something that you really care about, because there is statistically there is a great chance that it may not work out, because there's a lot of things that are out of your control. But as long as you're choosing something you really care about, you're not going to lose. So I would stick with that. When it comes to the pitching part, it's really important to think of it from an educator's point of view. What is the information people need to have to make their decision? At the end of the day, every pitch is to help educate somebody to make a better decision, whether it's investment, whether it's the customer, or whether it's a business partner. They all have specific goals they want to achieve. They have specific requirements that they want to meet, and you want to be able to inform them on how your product meets those requirements. From there, another question was, how do you start marketing your business? You start marketing your business with your development of your business, development of your product. You can start doing this by having conversations with the people that you're trying to design a product for, which is like maybe interviewing them, asking them what their goals are, what the challenges are. By letting people know that you're trying to make something, that already starts the marketing process. People start wondering about, oh, what are you making? I actually have this problem. I'd like to maybe ask you some questions, or I would start within your network, start with people that you're familiar with, and then scale outwards. Um, I really recommend not trying to do paid ads until you have like commitment from a market, and you would get that commitment from like word of mouth or just organically with your network or putting out videos or other ways, um, other means. From there, let's see. How do you know when you're ready to start a business, and what resources did you use? Uh, I'm not really sure when you would know you're ready, but I think you would feel you're ready when you feel it's a must-have. Like when you feel that it's something that you cannot not do, that's when you're ready to start to build a business. Because at that point, you're committed to seeing this through. Because how can you not be? How can you'd want to? In addition, you want to have the resources available. So if you are in a position where like you have a lot of um, debt, then you'd want to maybe be in a position where you have less debt, so you have less risk. Um, there's a lot of risk involved, so there's a process of building a business which is called like de-risking, where you just focus on the biggest risk and you handle those. Um, I really recommend focusing on your personal risks in your life first, and then once you're in a much more stable position, push the idea of go after your business a little more. Um, that's general advice. Every person is different, so depending on your situation, as long as you feel like you're in a good position to do it, um, you should go for it. From there, how to manage.
We have some questions in the chat line.
Okay, great. I'm not able to see the chat line, but Deborah, could you please read it aloud?
Okay, let's see. What is the global B2C and B2B that was on your experience slide?
Global B2C. So for global B2C, that was my role as a marketing manager at a skincare company. So those screenshots of the Instagram posts and then the original sales page, that was something that I created. I was in charge of the marketing for that startup. And for the B2B, I was in charge of selling our API. I was working at a company that sells stickers like for emojicons. They're called emojis, emojicons. Um, and I was in charge of selling our API to like product managers at companies like WhatsApp or like dating apps or any sort of apps where there's like community communications.
Nice. Hannah says, do you have any advice for designers?
Well, I mean, this whole thing is for designers, so every part of this lecture is for you guys. So, um, there's plenty of things that could be said for designers specifically. Um, One, like, don't get married to your design too early on. Um, I think this is a challenge for both designers and engineers. Like, you have a great idea, you want to do it, but it's a great idea to you, but it's not clear it's a great idea to the customer. And at the end of the day, the business is you want to receive, revenue, you want to receive profits. The customer is the one who gives it to you. So you got to make sure that you're designing something the customer actually wants.
Maybe flip that. How do you find your clients, and how did you find your current job? So how do you find your clients, and how did you find your current job?
All right. Those are good questions. That is another long conversation, but there's a process to pitching that I haven't talked about here. And the way I got my job was, it's what I do for B2B business. And like, there is, for me, I got this job because I evaluated what I could actually provide, what help I can provide. And I evaluated like the market here in Korea. What is it that is a need? What do people need here in Korea? And in Korea, there's a huge movement for startups. The government's providing a lot of programs for that. So I kind of figured that out, and then from there, I researched the companies that are available. Looked on LinkedIn. I did a lot of pitching. I pitch myself to many companies, and I evolved. I like developed that pitch over time, and then for each like company, there's different segments. There are like maybe government agencies, there were maybe accelerators, or maybe there were maybe venture capital, or even just another startup. Each of these have like different requirements and like different ways that you need to pitch them, because they're decision making group, the people who are going to hire you. It's a group of people. When you get a job, it's not just the recruiter. It's like you're trying to pitch to the product manager, the lead, maybe even the teammates, the CEO, even sometimes there too. You want to formulate a pitch that would be good for them. And for my particular role, I actually met with them a few times even before the interview. I had pitched to them. I had sent my application, no response. I had sent out email, no response. But I just kept following up. One of the things I did include here is that sales is there's a lot of follow up. Nobody ever really buys on the first time. You need to pitch to people like 5 to 7 times.
It sounds like you used your process on your own situation.
What's that?
It sounds like you used this process to get your job. Like
Yeah. A job,
segment.
like when you're getting a job, you are the product. So you have to have your own systems, and you have to be able to pitch yourself and know, who you're trying to help. So yeah, this is yeah, exactly.
Jenny says people have different opinions about business ideas. So if certain people don't like the idea that we pitch, how do we know which segment to trust?
Well, you would, I think, okay, just to confirm, you said people, I'm guessing you're saying that customers, not just like partners or investors. So I'm going to go the angle of people as in customers. So you're pitching this product, your solution to a lot of different people, but they're saying they're not interested. I think you would first want to be very clear about why you're even targeting these people in the first place. Why are you talking to these people? Again, you want to first determine your segments. So when you're designing your solution or your pitch, you always want to focus on the segments. Like, who is this going to be for, and who are like what are the requirements of these kind of people? And so for me right now, I'm currently pitching to VCs. I'm currently putting together programs to help startups get funding, and I'm trying to pitch to startups to venture capitalists in Silicon Valley and other places. And so my job is to understand the different types of VCs, and as I'm pitching to them, I'm trying to maybe target a specific quality about the VC. Maybe this VC has invested in Korean startups before, or maybe they are really invested into tech, or maybe this VC is they travel to Korea a lot, or even within the VC, am I targeting the partner? These are different roles. Am I targeting the partner? Am I targeting the principal, the senior associate? There's many different like factors of the segment, and so you need to be very clear to yourself. Why am I trying these out? And as long as you have good thinking about why you're doing it, once you see the results, let's say I targeted somebody who has never pitched to, who's never like wanted Korean startups, then if they said no, then okay, that means that most likely, if they don't like Korean startups in the first place, they're probably not somebody I want to talk to, versus somebody who's already invested in startups in Korea and they said yes to me. So, yeah.
That's terrific. Now, this has been a fascinating talk, Tomas. I know that you have so much experience in this area that, I mean, it's just, it's amazing that you give this talk to us. It's all gems.
Awesome. I'm glad. I have before I go, I have to head out to work now.
No, we don't get fired.
So if you guys have any additional, if you would like additional recommendations or resources, I don't have that prepared right now for this lecture, but if you'd like to have more recommendations or some of the books or things I've kind of looked at to help me get to where I'm at, just email me. You don't really have to say much in the email. Just like send me your email, and then from there, I'll just like send you a link.
I'll send you something, and then I can post it for everybody in our class. If you
Sure.
want. So that way you don't. But yeah.
I was just gonna put like a huge like BCC, like just put everyone there and just like just send it out. But if you want some other advice, like personally, you're welcome just to email as well. Excuse me. There's also a post survey I wish that you guys could please fill out. And then can we do a quick group photo? Like a quick group screenshot?
Okay.
I'm gonna stop.
Do you want use our cameras so you can see everybody?
Yeah.
Got-
Let's see. All right. In Korea, I'll show you how to. I'll teach you guys how to pose in Korea. In Korea, we have a specific pose. I'm pretty sure if you guys watch K dramas, you already know it. No. It's this one. This. Have you guys seen this before? The hearts. Yeah, this is super. This is like the Korean thing we do here. Anyway, so I'm gonna put a countdown. We're gonna do a screenshot. Okay. Let's see. How do I close this? 1 second, guys. I'm just preparing the screenshot. I have some like things on my desktop. Okay. All right.
You all got your Zoom shirt and an all.
Everyone cleaned up. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys for paying attention or I guess joining the lecture. I hope you guys found it helpful. Please, again, feel free to reach out or please do the survey as well so I can help you out more.
Well, do your survey and follow you maybe on LinkedIn or social media. And we'll be happy to invite you back for some of our pitches and events. So
yeah, that'd be awesome.
To. Well, thank you so much, Tomas. It has been a pleasure, like I said, as always, having you in class and just watching how you have really gone from a student to the business professional that you are today.
Thank you, Deborah.
Kudos to you.
Thank you very much.
Love it.
And you guys can all do this too. It's not exclusive to just me. You guys can build your businesses, and so there's a lot of steps. And I hope that you guys took good notes because it's a journey. It's a journey ahead, but it's definitely doable.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thank you. See you.